I really love like that army green. That's the vibe it's giving. Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a shop with me. This is my first time doing a video like this. So if you guys love this type of content, definitely let me know by giving the video a thumbs up. I thought that this video was so genius, and in my opinion, it's kind of like a full face of nothing new, except in this video, I show you guys me picking out the products one by one, and you kind of get a glance at what my current makeup collection looks like. Now, although I do not have as much makeup as other people, I still feel like I do have a good amount, and it's still very easy for me to just get lost in the sauce and forget about my old favorites. So in today's video, you guys get the rundown on today's look, what products I selected and why I selected these products, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So make sure you grab your makeup brushes or your popcorn, and let's get into today's video. So this is currently where I store all of my makeup products. So I have makeup in here and here, and I have skincare in there. So it's mainly just these two, with the exception of like the last, I want to say 3 drawers, 3 or 4 that are hair products. But let's start with primer. So this is my little primer collection. I don't really have too many left over ever since I decluttered my collection. So let's see, most of these I use pretty much all the time. Actually, I haven't used this one in a while. This is the hydrating primer from Tarte. I don't really remember how I feel about that, so let's go ahead and use that. But you guys know I love to double prime, so ooh, this one back here. I used to love this. I got this in BoxyCharm. Let's see if I still love it. So I'm going to use these two. Hopefully they work well together. I'm kind of scared, but we'll see. So next, let's move into foundation, which is down here. And I also decluttered this as well. I did my whole entire collection, so these are just what I have left. Now the thing with the foundations is that I don't have too many that are actually, you know, my shade, but we can make something work. So let's see. Actually, I'm going to use this one. This is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation in Baklava. It is going to be a little too dark for me, so I do have to mix it. And I think I'm going to mix it with this one right here. Even though I used the NARS, I'm going to mix it with this one because I think that'll be a good match. Since we're in this drawer, let's go ahead and pick some setting spray and stuff. Well, I haven't used this in a while. This is the L'Oreal Makeup Extender. So let's use this. It's actually only have a little bit in there, so that's perfect. And then maybe to like prime the skin. Let's see. I have this one from Too Faced. I don't really use this too often, but it's a 3-in-1, so why not? Let's go ahead and use that as well. Close up that drawer. Then we can come over here to concealer. Now, I know for a fact that I'm going to use this because you guys know I do not prime my lids with anything other than this. I don't even own an eyeshadow primer, to be honest. So I do have to pull that out. And I also need to color correct. And this is the only color corrector I have at the moment. So that has to come out too. And then for actual concealer, let's see. I have Too Faced, Elf. This is definitely too dark, but I would have loved to use this Juvia's Place one. NARS, you guys know I love. Let's use this one. So this is the CoverGirl. This is the True Blend Undercover Concealer. And I have not used this in a hot minute. So let's use that. I think that'll be fine. So that's concealer. Then for powders, let's see. I don't know why this is in here still. I don't like this. I haven't used this in a while. Let's see what else we have here. I haven't used this one in a while, the Fenty. Let's use Fenty Butter. So I'm just gonna set that up there. And then for face powder, I don't have many options. Let's use this. I haven't used Sephora in a while. Haven't shown my micro smooth powder some love in a minute, so let's use that. And then bronzer. Actually, I think for bronzer, I'm going to use a certain palette I haven't used in a while, which is not in this drawer, so we'll get to that. But cream bronzer. This is too dark. Oh, that's a little warm. I use that pretty frequently, even though I've been obsessed with the Milani. You guys see that a lot. Let's use this one from L'Oreal. This one right here. So there's that. So let's move over here. This is my lash drawer. Do not judge it. It's a mess. I have to actually throw some of these out, but I think I'll pick my lashes at the end. If I even do lashes, maybe I'll just do mascara. I think you guys will like that. This is highlights. I'm not really into highlight like that right now, so maybe let's just do a liquid or cream. This is like a purple. That's not gonna work. I love this one right here. That's more of like a pink highlight. I want something golden. Ooh, let's do this one. This is the Wet n Wild Halo or Hello Halo liquid highlighter. So let's use this. I think that'll be pretty. So this is what we have so far. Whew, that's a lot of makeup. All right, moving on. Lip products. I told you guys, I have so many different lip products. It's pretty insane. But I think I'm going to choose my lip at the end because I have no idea what we're doing for shadow. So let's just close that drawer for now. And then we have our blush. Oh, I haven't used this in a while. I think let's do this palette, but let's get a liquid blush. I love this Rare Beauty one. Oh, I don't think I've used this on camera yet. This is the Morphe 2. Let's use this. And that'll go pretty probably with this one right here. So let's do that. Look at me picking out my blush before my eyeshadow. Let's hope it all works out. So in this drawer right here, I have lip liners, which are a lot of nude shades, to be honest. Eyeliners and stuff like that, and then mascaras. So let's go ahead and pick out eyeliner. Ooh, this one right here I got in BoxyCharm. I have yet to use. It's a blue liner. Let's use this, even though I have no idea what I'm doing. But all right, now for lip liner, I'm gonna wait on that for my lips. And then mascara, I want something that's gonna give my lashes volume. Maybe I don't have to put on falsies. Let's do this one, the L'Oreal Unlimited. I haven't used this in some time. I also have this mini Kush mascara. Let's do this one. All right, here is where I have too many options to choose. Like, what am I going to do? This is more of like neutral palettes, everyday wearable palettes that I love and enjoy. So I probably shouldn't pick from here, if I'm being honest. Let's come down here. These are the palettes that I don't know. I have so many, you guys. So many different palettes. Let's see. I just recently used this. I think I just stuck that in here. This one I used as well. So we're just gonna set those aside. I really want to play with like green shadows. All right, so I decided on these two palettes. This one is the BH Cosmetics Royal Affair. I really love this green. And then I pulled out the Urban Decay Born to Run palette, which is a staple in my collection, but I have not touched it in a while. And it has some nice greens, even this one. So I don't know what we're gonna come up with. I do have to try and incorporate blue into this look because I did take out the blue liner, but we're gonna play with these two. And then the final drawer for the bronzer. Remember how I was saying I had a palette? I'm gonna use this one. This is the Too Faced Cocoa Contour Chiseled to Perfection. face contouring and highlight kit. So we're gonna use this for contour. Now that I have all of my products, I'm ready to get started. So of course I'm going to start with priming the skin. I think today I want to do my base makeup first and then do the eyes. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So priming the skin first, I think out of these two primers, I'm going to start with the Touch and Soul one. So this is the blurring primer. And I'm just going to put this in my T-zone. I do not remember it being this liquidy, but it feels really nice. It's almost like a hydrating primer. All right, so now that we have that on, it felt really nice to put it on, but really don't see that it blurred anything, but it's okay. So now we're gonna use the Tarte primer, and I'm just gonna put this everywhere else. I was really concerned about the two of them mixing together, but didn't seem to really be a problem. So now I'm gonna spray my face with the 3-in-1 Hangover from Too Faced. So far so good, but we're just getting started. I'm just pressing that primer water into my skin a little bit more. All right, now let's move on to foundation. So I really wanted to use this one because I have not used it in so long, and I know the coverage is definitely there for this foundation, but because it's a little dark, hopefully mixing in this one will kind of balance it out, and I can kind of make up a concoction that's gonna be right for me. So let's go ahead and do that. This NARS foundation is in Stromboli, and the Huda Beauty is in Baklava. So I'm just going to apply this to my skin using this brush. It's just a eyeshadow brush, and hopefully that'll work. I definitely forgot I wanted to color correct, so I'm just taking the foundation off now. I will have to apply a little bit more primer in these areas, but I forgot I wanted to color correct. I really hate using like makeup wipes on my skin, but what you gonna do? Now I'm gonna go ahead and use this right here. This is the Pixi by Petra Correction Concentrate in Brightening Peach. So I'm just gonna take that on my Morphe M173, and I'm just gonna try and cover up the dark marks on my face. I definitely need to get a more orange like corrector. This just might be too pink for me, but it'll just have to work, especially for these darker areas on my, face and everything. But good news, it's starting to lighten up a little bit. So now I'm gonna go back into the foundation concoction that I made, and I'm just going to reapply it and then blend it in. I feel like we are in a good place with the foundation application, and I used a brush for the first time in a long time. This is the JH03, the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collab, and you guys, I am in a good place. All right, so now let's move into concealer, and I have the CoverGirl. This is again the True Blend in Golden Natural. So let's go ahead and apply this. I'm gonna try to be as light-handed as possible with this because this is more of a brightening concealer. And I think as far as the foundation match that I have, or that I created for myself, it's a little off, but not by much. So I'm just gonna try to be light-handed with this. I'm also gonna use a brush to blend this out as well. This is just the e.l.f., I believe they're Flawless Concealer brush. Yeah. So now that the concealer is blended, I'm gonna go ahead and cream contour. I feel like the concealer was pretty easy to blend. I didn't really have a hard time blending it out. It does dry pretty quickly. And other than that, you know, everything seems to be working out nicely. I still need to add a little bit more color to my face because I am looking a little ghostly, and don't mind the lids because those aren't set yet. But I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Infallible. This is in the shade 410, which is Cocoa. And I'm actually just gonna draw it on and then blend it out with this dual fiber brush. This is the Morphe M406. And yeah, so let me go ahead and do that. This is a little bit of a darker cream contour, but I think it'll be fine. So I went ahead and primed my lids since it wasn't a product that is new, or not new, but that I haven't used in a while. I use it all the time, so just skip that altogether. Now let's go ahead and set everything, including our lids. And I'm just gonna use the Fenty Beauty setting powder in the shade Butter. And I'm actually gonna use a Real Technique sponge to do this. I have not used this orange sponge in God only knows how long. So I'm just gonna use this just to set my T-zone and my lids to prepare them for shadow. So before we move into eyeshadow, let's go ahead and set the rest of the face. And I'm gonna use the Micro Smooth powder from Sephora. I'm actually using a foundation brush for this. To be real with you guys, my brushes are so dirty. I definitely need to clean them today. So I wanted to make sure I was using clean brushes on my face. So that's why we're using this. All right, now that we have that out the way, we can move into shadow. I'm kind of interested and a little nervous because I don't know what I'm gonna do or how it's gonna come out, but this is definitely gonna force me to kind of get out of my comfort zone. So I want to start with the BH Cosmetics palette. Again, this is what it looks like. I really want to use that green in there. It looks so pretty. So let's go ahead and start with the basics of just putting a transition. And I think I'm gonna use Empress for my transition, which is this shadow right here. And I'm just gonna put that in my crease. That shadow definitely pulls a little bit more cool tone. So let's take Emperor, which is the one right on top of it or underneath it if you have the palette flipped the correct way. And I'm gonna take it on the same brush and flick it on the outer corner first and then slowly blend it into the crease. Hopefully this will give this look a little bit of warmth instead of it being straight up cool tone, because that's, I mean, not really what I want, but if that's what we end up with, then so be it. Now I want to start playing with that green shadow. So it's called Monarch and it's this one right here. And I'm going to take that on a small brush and I'm going to try to be as precise as possible when applying this. And I'm just going to leave it on the outer corner to start. I don't know if I want to do a halo eye with the green or not, but we're going to do the outer corner first and then I can kind of decide if I want to bring it into the inner corner. I guess for me, it just all depends on how easy the shadow is to work with. That green is just so pretty, but I'm really taking my time because I don't want to mess it up. And because we already have our base makeup on, I mean, from what I can tell, there's no fallout, but I want to take my time with this. This is so pretty, you guys. I really love like that army green. That's the vibe it's giving. That army hunter, like deep matte green. Ugh, I'm obsessed. All right, so I went ahead and popped a little bit of Weekender. This is in the Born to Run palette. I put that on the inner part of the lid. Now, obviously, this is nothing extravagant. This is not, you know, jumping out of the box or anything like that. So I'm going to continue adding shadow. I want to use Imperial and what is this one? Aristocat. So both of the green shimmers in this palette, one's darker than the other. And I kind of want to layer them in the center of the lid. So I'm going to start with the darkest one first, and then I'll put the lighter shimmer on top of it. But we are not going to stop there, but let's go ahead and do this first. I think for the front of the lid, I'm going to add Empress, which, well, actually, let's grab Majesty maybe. I don't know, this one. I think we just need something that's a little bit darker than the matte shadow that I used. Let's grab Empress. So it's this one right here that we used before. And I'm gonna just press that shadow on the front. I think the final thing I want to do for the eyeshadow, this is not at all what I envisioned, but it's okay, is grab Enchanted, which is the darker green. And I'm just gonna smudge that on the outer part of my lash band, so like right here, just kind of snatch this up a little bit and deepen it up. All right, I think that is it for the eyes. All right, now we can apply our mascara. I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Paris because I feel like it's what is gonna give me the most volume. So let's go ahead and coat these bad boys. I really love the mascara. I will say this did get a little clumpy on me. I don't know if it's because I've had it for a little minute in my collection. I can't really remember, you know, like my initial thoughts, but I still love it. Even though it got a little clumpy, I just took a clean spoolie and just kind of brushed it out. But I feel like it makes me look like I have false lashes on, even though I don't. So this is the perfect mascara to use, especially since I'm not wearing falsies. And now I'm going to use this Longwear gel eyeliner from Milk Makeup. This is blue, but it is what it is. So we're just gonna pop this in the waterline and see what that does for us. Now I'm gonna go ahead and bronze up the skin. I'm gonna use Dark Cocoa in this palette. This is, again, the Cocoa Contour palette from Too Faced. And I'm just gonna use a little bit of this all around the perimeter of my face. All right, so I did forget two cream and liquid products, the highlight and the blush. But I'm not gonna apply either of these today just because I don't like to apply these type of products over, you know, my face once it's been set with powder. We've used so much powder products that I don't even want to take that risk. So we're gonna jump into blush, and I pulled the Sephora palette, which I don't even know if this is still available at Sephora, but this one right here is so pretty as a highlight, even though this is supposed to be a blush palette. Maybe we'll use that as our highlight. So I think I'm gonna just take a mixture of all three of these. Oh, you guys can't even see that. So I'm gonna mix this one, the one underneath it, and this one all together. Kind of make a little concoction of my own. And I'm gonna apply it to my cheeks. So before we apply that blush as a highlight, I do want to set the face, and I'm using the Makeup Extender setting spray from L'Oreal, and I'm just gonna spray my face down. So now that the spray is pretty much nice and set, let's go ahead and take this shadow right here, or blush, and use it as our highlight. So I'm just gonna pop a little bit of this up here. So now I'm just gonna take a little bit more of that same one, and I'm actually gonna use it for my inner corner highlight just because I didn't put anything here. So I think this will do just fine. I actually like it right there. sprinkled looks really good with the green. All right, now we just need to do our lip. So let's go ahead and move back to the drawers and pick our lip for today's look, which I can tell you is probably gonna be nude just because the green, I mean, what would you pair that with? But let's see what we got. All right, so for the lip combination, I dug in the drawer and I told you guys it was gonna be nude. So I have the Marc Jacobs lipstick in Anais. I also pulled the LA Perfect Precision lip liner in the shade Cafe, which I have not used in a while. And I also grabbed two different glosses because I don't know which one I'm gonna end up using, but I have Taupe from Buxom and I have the Morphe Flower Crown. So let's apply this lip as this lovely train passes. All right, you guys, so this is the finished and final look. Now let's go ahead and talk about a couple of things. First and foremost, the eyeshadow palettes. I pulled out two and I feel like I only used one shadow from this Born to Run palette and ended up covering it up. This is a really great palette from what I remember. I enjoy using it, but I didn't really play with it as much. I focused mainly on this palette from BH Cosmetics, and the green in this that I used, this one right here called Monarch, is so pretty, but I think the overall quality of this palette could be better in my opinion. So I see why I don't really pull for it too often. It was nice to play with it and create something. Although it's not my best work, I'm pretty proud of the eyeshadow look. Also, the foundation, love this. I didn't even need to use a lot of this. And if you guys seen the video where I used the Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation that is so thick, it gave me this vibe, but in a different way. Like the finish of this and the formula and the way that it feels on the skin is definitely much different from that. And I can handle this. That I just couldn't do, but I still love that. I was happy that I was able to mix it with a second foundation and still kind of have my shade basically. So that's great. That means I can use it whenever I want. So I'll definitely be pulling that out more often. Also the L'Oreal, what is this? Their Longwear Shaping Stick. Not crazy about it. I mean, when I first applied it and blended it in, it looked nice, but I'm not really sure how I feel about the finished look. It could either be that or it could be the palette that we used, which is the Too Faced contour palette. It could have been that dark cocoa shade that I don't like. I can't really figure it out, but not my favorite combination. Let's just say that. From my understanding, these videos were curated and started to get people to, you know, stop going out and buying like the latest thing every single time something drops, and it just gives you the opportunity to basically shop your own collection and use the products that you already have that have been sitting there that you probably haven't touched in a while, like me with certain products. I do have my holy grails, but it was nice to be able to sit down and use makeup that I have not used in a while. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's content. Let me know by giving the video a thumbs up. Also, make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. And with that, I am going to close out today's video here, and I will see you all in the next one.